Mondays through Fridays, 3:30 to 4:30 p.m. in the newsroom. You can't afford to miss.
Good afternoon, viewers at home. It's time for another edition of the program, and I welcome you all into the newsroom. Today we are going to discuss salient issues that has been recurring, that has become a kind of recurring decimal in our national life. First, it has to do with the CBN bowing to pressure as it extends Naira note swap deadline. Then secondly, we are going to look at the Osun Tribunal judgment, in which a senior advocate of Nigeria, Ebunolu Adegboru, is saying that they are waiting for the details of tribunals overvoting. Then thirdly, we are going to look at the advice by the Chief Justice of Nigeria to anti-graft agencies, both the EFCC and ICPC, to be circumspect in corruption fight. Now, my guests are here with me in the house. Alhaji Muritala Agbola, welcome on board.
Thank you for having me. Good afternoon, Nigerians.
Yeah, Kayode Adedire, I welcome you as well.
Thank you, okay. Good afternoon, viewers.
Thank you very much. Now, let's start with the first topic. CBN bows to pressure, extends Naira note swap deadline. Alhaji Muritala Agbola. CBN, you know, it takes days or weeks that people have been clamoring for extension of this thing. And the CBN governor was insisting that he was not going to extend it. But bowing to pressure now, I mean, why sudden change of heart?
They added 10 days, Abi.
Yes.
That 10 days, even to me, is grossly inadequate. That's, you need to see the number of people that surged into various banks in Osogbo yesterday. Why? You see, the policy may be good. Naira redesign or currency redesign is a universal concept. It's not Nigerian. If he didn't generate it here, it's a universal thing. But in other times, they don't do it this way. Now, so that gives a credence to the fact that some people believe that it was targeted at a particular person or some politician to buy vote. But even at that, you see, the problem I have had with people in government is that when they are there, they believe because of the information available at their disposal, they are better placed, they are more patriotic, they are more nationalistic than other nations, which is not so. This decision is between Buhari, Emefiele, and maybe some other few guys. We are talking about a country of about 200 million. Now, what is the infrastructure on ground? In my own local government, Oduotin has 15 wards. Okay. And out of, in fact, before the local government was split, Oduotin, Osogbo, and Iwo were the only 3 local governments that have 15 wards. Now, in Oduotin, I doubt whether we have up to 5 banks. Now, even our headquarters, which used to be our headquarters in Ikirun has no bank. You understand? We even have a microfinance bank in Indonesia. But you see, the point is, before you bring out a policy, first there has to be research, and there has to be a proper planning ahead. They didn't do all this. They just wake up one day because some people. At the end of it, let me tell you the interesting part. The people that were targeted, they didn't get them. It is you and I don't know whether you have me, I don't have. So it is you and I, the ordinary people, that became, they are the people that are queuing in banks. The big people, those their targets, will just walk into bank. Or they will even invite the manager to come. Manager, I have to so and so money. So can you take this part and give me? That's all. So the policy well thought out, but the implementation wasn't. And in fact, this should also teach our National Assembly members. They are invited. In fact, I think the plan is still on that he should come tomorrow. Yes. Otherwise, maybe they are going to get him arrested. I mean, he shouldn't get to the level that an individual or 2 people. If we elected the president, we use inside the rain, inside the sunshine, that we voted for him. So he's a public servant. Yes, he might meant well for us. But if his planned wellness, I mean, it's not okay by us. We have the right. Look, in his own home state, Katsina, you know, he's at home now. He went to. Now, they demonstrated against him, they protested against him. By now I think he should be in Kano. Yeah. Ganduje told him that people are not happy about the situation. That's a security report on ground. So who are we governing? In any case, why didn't he do this in 2019? He should have done this in 2019. So this we try to pretend as if we love people. At the same time, we are keen to buy fuel. The fuel is non-existent. The little ones we are keen to buy. We are keen to get money from the banks, and we are keen to get our PVC. Why? So whatever good plan he had, or whatever good intention that went into it has become known. So, 10 days is little, but at least it's still better. And you see, what brought the fears is that he has done it before. And because he has done it before, people were skeptical that it was going to be extended. And I was a victim in 1984. I was in Jos when I came back home and I almost got stranded. So people, but it should not be so. At that time, it was a military dictatorship. This is civilian government. This is democracy. And in democracy, the government must be representative, it must be responsive, and must be responsible to the people. So if you are practicing democracy as if you are practicing dictatorship, then it doesn't make sense. So good as it is, well, I think they should also talk about it.
Okay. Now, what is your reaction when you first heard that the CBN bows to pressure and extend the Naira note swap deadline?
Well, it did not surprise me because I knew all along that they will have to bow to pressure. But you see, one is tempted to believe that the extension is a kind of face-saving device. But it is eventually, it may prove otherwise. Because things have not changed. I phoned a friend in the bank this afternoon. I had wanted to go and deposit the last tranche of old note I had today, which is the last day. And he said I should come anytime today. But when the extension was announced, I did not go, but I just phoned him. Look, can I still come and deposit this amount I have and get and withdraw the equivalent? I should continue spending the old note, because even they are not dispensing any new note. They are rather dispensing 100 naira note, which is not affected by the redesign. 100 naira note in tatters, not red, not mint, in tatters, and it is 10,000 maximum. That's this afternoon. So where lies the solution? There's no solution in sight. Yes, similar thing happened in 1984 under the military, but the situation was not as chaotic as we have now. It was not. You see, the man in Mayfield has become too powerful for this country. We are seen as if we have never had a central bank governor in this country before. So powerful. Look at the way he rushed down to Katsina to Daura to meet, just by way of meeting a friend, paddy kind of thing, and walk out and to tell the nation that my friend, the president, has agreed to 10 days extension of and what even is more curious is that after the 10 days, they said there will be another grace period, 7 days of grace period. And that 7 days, you take your money to central bank, not commercial bank, not you take your money, your old notes to central bank. It did not say, after dropping this old note, will you be able to get new notes in exchange? It did not say that. It means just go there, drop whatever you have with the central bank and return home. What will you spend? What will you spend? So the whole situation has become hopeless, and it is very unfortunate. Very unfortunate. It was telling us the advantages that have been derived from the exercise so far. It was telling us that the CBN collected 1.9 trillion naira from circulation, leaving 900 billion naira outside. What he has said, there's no way to authenticate what he has said. There's no way. He said, I'm reading from, he said, money earned legitimately could be deposited in central bank after the deadline, because of this 7 days grace period beginning from February 10. He also said inflation has started trending down. Have you seen that?
No.
You have not seen that. And he said exchange rate is relatively stable. So he have been telling us so many lies to justify what is happening now. I say we are in serious problem. We are in serious problem.
All right. Thank you. Alaji Mretala Bola. You see, the monetary policy being implemented in recent times, people describe it. People have complained about it, and they are describing it as retrogressive. Is it truly retrogressive?
You see, every country, the level we are now, there are so many challenges.
Okay.
So policies, both fiscal policies, that's the taxes, and the monetary policy, other economic these things, must be in tune with growth and development.
Okay.
And the way it is, you see, money are being tied down. In the first place, there are so many jobless people around. So policies ought to stimulate recovery, and for it to stimulate recovery in such an economy, it means government has to spend more. But the government is not spending. Now look at taxes. If you are very observant with this bill charged by electricity distributing company, tariff. Thank you. Tariff. You know, they have not come out openly to say they have increased it. But if you buy it and you know, if you try to compare with the past, see, these are always taxing. I think they were also going to tax soft drink and other things before some people cry. So it is retrogressive because it is not helping to stimulate the economy. You see, if people are gainfully employed, they will be ready to pay tax, because tax is a major source of revenue to the government in public finance. Now, if not for the fact that we have oil, there are some countries that are not as blessed as Nigeria. They depend on tax. But if people don't have jobs, what do you expect to tax? In Osun here, in Osogbo, we have the machine tools, we have the steel rolling mill. Now people are jobless. The companies are there. One government built it, another one sold it, and because there are no people there working, so policies are made, not textbook theories, but theories that are in tune with the situations on ground, so that the economy will be better. Now, since they came in, they spend trader money, they spend market money. Now, all those things, where are the money today? So monetary policies and fiscal policies of the government must be able to stimulate the economy, to generate growth. People will get employment, and that's why even in the advanced societies, if you are jobless, then they give you something. Muammar Gaddafi too did it in Libya. If you are married like this, they give you quotas, they give you some money. Well, we might not be able to do it because our population is higher or greater than that of Libya, but people who are jobless, that's why the crime rate is very high. People have graduated, there are no jobs, and you might tell them, okay, they should have learned one trade or the other, fine. But if they don't have, society also owe it a duty to give them stipends, little, to keep their soul and body together. There are no jobs, nobody cares for anybody. And if a parent is able to train a child to graduate from, I think he has done his best. See, we are not looking at problems in our society, and if we do at all, we don't treat it the way it ought to be treated. Now, if people are corrupt, yes, there are some people naturally they tend towards corruption, but there are some people to necessity. If you are in a place of work, the next thing is, if there is any area you can look at, this is a place now, let me also help myself. Otherwise, is it the pensioners who are not even paid their money as and when due? You work, and when you retire, you are supposed to be, how much is the money? Pittance. But that one, so yes, I agree that our policies are not progressive, they are retrogressive.
Okay. Yes. Sake, what can you say will be the impact or the impact of these policies on the nation's economy?
It will bring pains. I mean, it is already bringing pains to Nigerians. Because, you see, the most pathetic aspect of it is that I have my money. my money is in the bank. You are not telling me how to get my money, how to spend my money. Telling me that I cannot withdraw more than 100,000 naira, the money that I worked for, and just put the money in bank for safety purpose. That's all. Money in banks now, they don't yield any interest. You other tax the money, so we are losing. In spite of that, you are not dictating the pace to me, dictate as to how to spend my money. It is unfortunate, and you see the level of poverty will increase. It will increase if you experience this kind of situation in the urban, the so-called urban center. What of those in rural areas? You know, where there are no banks, like Muri said, the whole of what you call is senatorial district. Osogbo is under Eastern, isn't it?
No, Osogbo is central.
Central, okay. I mean, I'm talking of central. There are no banks there. All the banks have shut down, from Ikirun to Ragbiji to even to Inisha. So there are no banks there. It means they have to come to Osogbo. That's additional pay. And even when they get to Osogbo, they won't be able to transact business. So it will generate more pains, and it will increase the level of poverty. Already we are the poverty level is alarming. It's very alarming. You know, we are told about 133 million Nigerians are in dimensional poverty. The number will have increased by now. There's no doubt about it.
Okay.
So the situation is very dangerous.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. Alhaji Agbola, prior to this time, the National Assembly has been inviting the CBN governor to come and explain one thing or the other. He has been evading the invitation. Now, tomorrow is another day scheduled for him to appear before the National Assembly. Do you think the man will honor the invitation, or he will devise another means of evading that invitation?
Well, ordinarily, he should. He should answer to them. They are the people's representative. And in fact, I'm even interested in what will transpire tomorrow. Will he respond to the accord or not?
Okay.
Now, but if he doesn't, it won't surprise me. Because I strongly believe that the problem we have in Nigeria is not even corruption. It's impunity. Impunity is, and nothing will happen too. You see, those who engage in nefarious activities, they do so because they know if you're a big man, in Nigeria, the laws are not meant for you. And they are meant for ordinary people like you and I. So if you're a big man, look, who are those people inviting me? If I can get the protection of the president, they can go to Blaze. Several times. There was a time he had to send one deputy governor to go. There was a time they said he went abroad. He went with the president. Outside the country. The president came back. Then he heard that he was on leave. Why should it be so? We are working for the people, and the representatives of the people are calling you. So if you don't have anything to, why not respond to them? Tell them why you think there's a need for us to embark on this particular project at this time. It's as simple as that. Then if there's any problem, they can tinker with the problem. Oh yes, you see the concept is very good, but why not leave it till this time? Or why not increase the days and things like that? Now, maybe to preempt tomorrow's meeting, that's why he just came and said, okay, 10 days. But these people, if they are sat down, they will have met minds and then discuss, okay, we even intend to increase it by 10 days. But if the lawmakers can, okay, why not maybe 3 months? In fact, they are on the floor of the house. Somebody suggested 1 year. Most of them say 1 year is too long. But 6 months. Some people are even saying 6 months, maybe 4 months, things like that. All of a sudden, it just came out 10 days. I mean, there should be consultation. Even in the home, sometimes there are certain policies. If you want to carry out in the home, you have to get the consent of your wife. Sometimes extended to the children. If they are matured and grown up, you can't just say, oh, because I'm the father of the household, whatever. No, it doesn't happen like that. So I'm interested, I'm curious. Okay. I want to know whether he will, and if he fails to, I also want to know that what will these people do? If they don't do anything, then it means we are wasting our money on them. They should be able to take action so that it will serve as a deterrent to somebody else in future.
All right, thank you. Sake, there is no, the National Assembly has come up with a statement that they are opposed to that 10 days extension. And on the basis of that, they are saying that it should appear before the National Assembly tomorrow. What do you think will be the likely outcome of this meeting if eventually he appears before the National Assembly?
Well, there are two reactions from the National Assembly, particularly the House of Prayer.
Yeah.
The minority caucus have applauded the decision.
Okay.
In fact, they played politics with it. They said it's a way of taking to Atiku's advice that there should be extension. That is minority caucus.
Yeah.
By the House, as represented by the view of the majority leader, who is the chairman of that committee, says they are not satisfied. So the summons still stands, and whether he will comply, will obey the summons or not, I doubt if he will obey, because his trip to Katsina is loaded with meaning. Yes, he rushed there on Sunday, yesterday, and got the approval of the president for 10 days extension. So you see, he's in a kind of alliance with the president. And some people have said it's an unholy alliance. I don't know about that. They say it's an unholy alliance. But the fact remains that he is in an alliance with the president. He has the full backing of the president. You know, he said the president has approved extension of the deadline by 10 days, February 10. That is the president. It means it was not his own decision. It was the president, so it is presidential. And having gotten that, it's not that he won't appear. And if he does not appear and the House does not go ahead to impose necessary sanction, there is a great disappointment. And you see, you have never seen any disobedience to the summons of the House that has attracted any sanction. It's ordered this impotent threat. We will issue warrant of arrest, ask the Inspector General to come and nothing happens. This one will go that way again. So I don't see Emefiele
likely to go that way, or you are certain that it will go that way.
It will go that way. He will not show up. Emefiele will not show up.
All right. All right. Gentlemen, thank you. Let's move to the second topic of our discussion. Osun Tribunal judgment. We are waiting for details of tribunals over voting. Ebonolu Adegboro Asan, Alhaji Agbola. Why should they be waiting for the details? What is their interest?
Every Nigerian should be interested. In fact, it might turn out to even be a blessing. The case of Osun. You know, because I'm saying this because the judgment or this case has exposed some inadequacies on the part of INEC. Very good. Now, the Beavers report, they issued 2, which is contradictory. And it's not supposed to be so. So, if INEC will take a good lesson from this, it will prevent such an occurrence in the future, particularly in the forthcoming 25th February election. Now, if that had not taken place, maybe the conundrum we have now will have happened in the general election. You know, this one-off election. Osun State is off election. So it's better managing one than to manage many cases. Now that is one. Now the furore it has also generated is that, you know, there were some protests, demonstration, and in fact, I think on that Friday there were some shootings and things like that, and some other places. Helter-skelter. People are afraid of their lives. But I think I want to use this opportunity to make a special appeal to our people. You know, this case at the tribunal, it will go to the appeal court and finally terminate at the Supreme Court. So it's too early. Those who have judgment in their favor now must not jubilate. Those who have judgment against them now should not overreact, because in court it can turn any way. Now, more so that the governor has indicated he had 21 days to go to appeal, and he has made a signal that he intends to appeal the judgment. So, I mean, if we start killing ourselves now, if we start burning houses now, if the judgment turns to favor him, then what will he do again? So I think it's a special appeal to our people. But on the part of INEC too, they have to put their house in order. So that what happened here, because now the Beavers report, which APC relied on to file the petition, is different from the synchronized report given to PDP when PDP also asked for, and on the same election. So some things ought not to have happened, but it has happened. So what lessons can we learn from it? Now, for the lawyer, the senior advocate of Nigeria, that said yes, they are interested. You know, a lot of people have even asked too that why didn't they ask for rerun of election? But like some lawyers said, I'm not a lawyer, but some lawyers have argued that since by cancelling the areas affected, the winner still had the two-thirds majority. You have simple majority and you have two-thirds. But if none of them met that condition, maybe they will have been renowned of it. So we need to be patient. We need to persevere until the final judgment comes from the Supreme Court.
Sake, a senior advocate of Nigeria is saying that he's waiting for the details of tribunals over voting. Why should he be? What should be his interest?
Well, it's a case that has generated a lot of interest. Even those of us who are not lawyers, we are also interested. You know, lawyers, that's what they feed on. It is very unfortunate that my state, our state, is again in the news for wrong reason. Purely for wrong reason. As we had in 2018, we are into it again. It's very unfortunate. You see, the tribunal judgment did one thing. This device called BVAD gave us the impression that salvation has come, for the electoral system. But the tribunal has put the BVAD on trial and has declared guilt judgment on the BVAD. Very unfortunate. It means the confidence which most of us have already reposed in this BVAD machine is winning. If after all the experiments done with BVAD in some states, this kind of situation did not arise, why Osun State? And the issue of double figures coming out, the server-induced BVAD brought another result. The BVAD itself brought a result, which to us should be the authentic result. But the one generated by the server is what is creating the problem now. And what the question is, which one is more authentic?
It's authentic.
Is it the BVAD or the server-induced BVAD? That is where the problem, that is where my confusion lies. But I would have thought that what the BVAD generated should be the authentic result. Otherwise, I mean, if that had been the case, we wouldn't have had this kind of problem we find ourselves. So there is need for one to be suspicious that some hands are working somewhere. Some hands are working somewhere. So at the end of the day, let's see how it ends. The Court of Appeal is there, and the Supreme Court is there. You see, what makes this situation different from what we had in Second Republic? Second Republic, all litigation that arose from elections will have been settled before inauguration. That's why Bolaide could not have a second time, at least for whatever duration. Because all the litigation he instituted were completed before the inauguration. And that is what I expect our system also to aim at. You know, you don't need to retain someone in office for about a year or two before the final judgment is in. He will have collected salaries, he will have done so many things. I only just to ask him to go home and let whoever is declared as the authentic winner. So that area should be looked into. We can bring back the experience of the Second Republic, and that will stop all this problem. A man who loses case will not be able to stay in office but because the law allows it. So we must wait for the Court of Appeal and then wait for the I mean, it's a gone conclusion that the case will get to Supreme Court.
Okay.
So we are waiting.
Yeah. All right, Alhaji, looking at all this scenario now, will you say that it is beavers that has created the problem, or the problem is as a result of human factor?
No, it's more of human factor. Beavers is still very okay.
Okay.
In fact, it has, it was the immediate past INEC chairman,
Okay.
Jega, that introduced this
Card reader.
card reader.
Yeah.
Now, this one, beavers, solid. But I think there was mistakes, and I want to blame more of INEC than beavers.
Okay.
Now, if you write a report, lawyers, they demanded for CTC, certified true copy. Now, that certified true copy must be the same. Since it's the same election, but now there's a variance.
Yeah.
So, now which one do they follow? That's where the problems came in. Which one? Is it the one given to APC or the one given to PDP? Now, as if that is not bad enough, even when the INEC man came to the tribunal, he said there was a seemingly overvoting. He admitted.
INEC,
oh yes, they talk about synchronization. Now, the argument of INEC was that the first report given to APC, at that time, they have not fully compiled everything. You understand what I'm saying? So, but by the time PDP asked for, they had already synchronized everything. But the issue is, if it is the same election, you declare the result on a particular facts and information. So that was the information you supplied. Because APC too has some dates. It was not as if the following day. So if you supply this information, I think even at that point, what they could have done is that since it is the certified true copy, maybe they would have written to APC to withdraw the one they have given them. That maybe we rush to give you this, but this is the synchronized one. Maybe I'm a layman, I don't know anything, but that's my own opinion. But because there can be two reports, they are supposed to be the same. The voters register, the beavers report must be the same with those who voted. Those who voted can be less, but certainly cannot exceed the number of people in the register or those who are accredited. So that's like that. But good thing for this election, the court will do it. But I think for subsequent election, the INEC has to do a thorough job, better than what they did in this particular case.
Sake, if you go by this, all the scenario that the election, the Osun election is generating now, what do you think will be the impact on our electoral system?
Well, as I said, we have thought that with BBAT, the salvation has come for our electoral system, our electoral process. But there has been a kind of setback now. People have started doubting the veracity of BBAT. What even becomes equally curious was the judgment delivered. We are talking of 2-1. But from the look of things, I think it's 1-1, because the lady among them was very ambivalent. He was neither here nor there. He did not. He only signed the chairman's portion of the judgment, and that is curious. He did not say anything. The third man came out boldly with a minority judgment. So that makes the case very curious. And the way the chairman also performed there, I'm sorry, it was unjudicial. No. He used certain poetry, or what do you call it? The context. The context within which he used it was not appropriate at all. It was very disdainful. It was a kind of mockery. And so these are areas which I think the Court of Appeal should look into.
Okay.
The comportment of the chairman in particular. Okay. You know, I learned he even stood up and dramatized that song he brought in as a poetry or whatever. It's unheard of. So many curious things happened during the proceedings. Okay. and the final judgment, okay. Which I think the upper courts will be able to see, so that similar things don't repeat itself in future.
Okay. Now, before we move away from this topic, Alhaji Muritala Agbola, you have identified that the problem was more of human factor.
Yes.
Now, what would be your advice in this regard, so that we don't allow human factor to tinker with our electoral process any longer?
Now, one, INEC, they should put their house in order and ensure that if the election results will take some days, let it take.
Okay.
Or let them do a very good job. Of course, in human situation, even the law does not expect 100% compliance.
Okay.
He expects